Mm. All right. So we're going to be dealing with Moorish doctrine. This is the third part of the 48-part series. We are taking lessons from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. By the way, this says this organization is playing a useful and definite part in advancing the sacred obligations of American citizenship. This was a statement of a newspaper in regards to Drew and his movement. All right, now I'm going to read to you. Again, Elihu met his pupils in the sacred grove and said, "No man lives unto himself, for every living thing is bound to every other living thing. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. They will not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them. There are two selves. The higher self and the lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. So if Allah is the constitution, then the higher self is the constituent member of the union. And so this is the state national. Seeing as though Allah was the creator, right? The Constitution, the agreement is what creates the law. Then man must too be as he knows. And so since Allah or the higher self is the creator, then this self must be the creditor. God holds all the qualities of a creditor, of a secured, hidden, private entity. And it says the lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. Okay, it's distorted. This is the stateless citizen. This is the lower self. This is the debtor. We're talking about mirroring. This is talking about mirroring and how what is on one side is also on the other side. Okay, or debits equal credits. Okay. The The higher self is the embodiment of truth. Oh, excuse me. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The lower self is an illusion. It's color. It's not what it presents to be. It says the lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is Allah in man, or the authority of the mind, the awareness of true self, and will not pass away. So how does this pass away? When you secure it, you take it out of the public and you no longer use it. You now operate under this here. This is over here. This is the higher self. And it will not pass away because this is Allah in man. This is the constituent member of the union. This is the constitutionally secured self or person. Self means person. It says the higher self is the embodiment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed. And so is falsehood manifest. So what are we talking about? Let's take it on these terms. All right, so let's read that again. The higher self is the embodiment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed, and so is falsehood manifest. All right. The higher self is justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is what the higher self is not. This is living. This is the truth of the matter. This is what seems to be. This is a person. This is a U.S. stateless citizen. This is a U.S. state citizen. They mirror each other because they are both persons. But one is just and upright. It means in the living. All right? And one is everything that this is not. So this is the non-living. This is the debtor. This is the creditor. Understand, though, they are one, because this is the unity of life. This is an illusion. Under the 14th Amendment, people have the illusion that federal citizenship and the votes in the 15th Amendment count, when in reality, we only deal with states and state voting at the state polls. Okay? The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. So acting in the stateless capacity as an enemy of the state, you will be mistreated. You will be misused, possibly exiled. You will definitely be molested and accosted on the road. All the things that harm. Acting in this capacity and not balancing the scale is showing your true self. It says the higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. Harmony is equity, balance, the plane of inertia, where all things are as they are. It says the lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. There is no equity on this side. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. So acting in this federal capacity, this non-citizen national capacity, this non-state citizen capacity. It offers pleasure, right? Because you're out there working in the world, but you're working as a debtor. You're not returning you're not getting any real return on your investments. You're paying in the federal taxes, which means that you're not a state citizen, which means that you are a federal citizen. So I guess citizen could mean employee. Absolutely. It says the lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell. Their cores are full of bitterness and gall. Poor investments. Poor investments. A debtor cannot invest. Only a creditor can invest. If you would ask me what to study, I would say yourselves, your persons. I would say study your citizens. Okay? And when you have well studied them and then would ask what to study next, I would reply again, study yourselves. Meaning know this with a certainty. He who knows his lower self, statelessness, knows the illusions of the world, knows of the things that pass away. And he who knows his higher self knows all law, knows well the things that cannot pass away. So the debited is canceled out or zeroed out when something is accredited. This passes away. It comes into this here. This is the revenue from the debited account to the credited account. It says, thrice blessed is the man who has made purity and love his very own. Thrice blessed. It's 3 times, right? So we would obviously be talking about trust law. Thrice blessed, because you are the grantor as well as the beneficiary and the trustee. These are all you. You are now perfected. Thrice blessed is the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. And mind you, the beneficiary is not a living person. This is the beneficiary. Purity and love. Purity. Purity. Purity means possessor bona fide. Because purity means God, so that's Allah. God means, white means purity. This is the white side in the light, the seen side, the vivus, the living side. What did I just, damn, I lost it that quick. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about purity. Pardon. So white means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. A ruler of the land is a possessor bona fide. That is the term that you will find in Black's Law Dictionary, first edition. And love means consideration. Now, how do we know that love means consideration? When we first opened up this book, we were getting the golden rule. The golden rule is to treat others as you wish to treat yourselves. That is integrity and character. That is being honorable. That is being accountable. That is considering what another, considering it's stepping in the shoes of the other and considering their point of view. So love means consideration. So we are learning to consider because we're dealing with contracting. We're dealing with contracts. Tell us where the red fez gets its color. Yeah, not today. Not dealing with that today. All right, let's see. It says, thrice blessed is the man who has made purity and love his very own. He has been ransomed from the perils of the lower self and himself, his higher self. Ransomed from the perils, meaning that there has been a redemption on this side. He's being redeemed from this status, right? And is now himself his higher self. The creditor, the investor, the issuer, the insurer, the stakeholder. All of that's over here. Okay. It says men seek salvation or redemption from an evil that they deem a living monster of the netherworld. And they have gods or contracts that are but demons in disguise, all powerful, yet full of jealousy and hate and lust. It says man seeks salvation from an evil that they deem a living monster. Well, a living monster is not a human. Okay? It's not recognized as being of the same status or state of mind as a human. It says whose favors must be bought with costly sacrifices of fruit and of the lives of birds and animals and humankind. So this is doing bad business, is what this is relating to. Okay? It says, and yet these gods possess no ears to hear, no eyes to see, no heart, no compassion, no consideration to sympathize, no power to save. If you're acting over here, there's no consideration. None. This is the living monster sign. It says this evil is a myth. These gods are made of air clothed with the shadow of a thought. This is clothed with the shadow of a thought. So a thought is a human. It's manifest in the flesh. This is a person, but so is this. It is imitating this, or it is like this person, but not just like this person. So this is the myth that this person is who you are. The truth is that this is the person you are. When you let go of that, you become your higher self. And this does not pass away. Okay. The only devil from which men must be redeemed is self. So we just found out the devil, the monster, right? This is the lower self. This is everything that harms. If you're acting in this capacity, you have no say-so. It says the devil from which men must be redeemed is self, the lower self. If man would find his devil, if man would find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. My name is on here. This is my lower self that must be secured or bond, right? And if man would find his Savior, he must look within. When the demons or the negative thoughts or the bad business has been dethroned, the Savior, love, consideration, will be exalted to the throne of power. The David of the light, the beloved of the light, is purity, who slays the strong Goliath of the dark and seats the Savior, love, upon the throne. What is the David of the light? Love. Full disclosure. That's the David of the light. Full disclosure. We're learning how to do business. All of this religious stuff is parable. And for those with the minds to see, the ears to hear, those who have some foundational knowledge about accounting and business management, about trusts and estates, etc. That's very unfortunate. No, that's not what we wish. All right. Here we go. Anywho, I lost where I was at. Oh, yes. So those with eyes to see and ears to hear and who have a basic foundation on accounting, business management, trust and estate, wills and testaments, if you have a basic foundation of knowledge with that, all of this makes more sense. You're able to see beyond the parable to pull back the veil of the boogie woogie, right? And you'll understand that God references an agreement, a mutual agreement, right? And that all agreements have at least two parties, right? You'll begin to understand this. You will begin to understand that if you're over here, you're the debtor. But if you're over here, let me show you. Okay, so if the asset over here is a bond, right, and this bond is a servant, that is its personality. That is its only personality. But on this side, there are two more persons. You have the liable party, who is the insurer. Or we'll say, yeah, partner. This is a partner. And you owe this partner because they've helped you invest in yourself, if you will. And then you have the individual, the initial investor, who is the equitable owner. So all three of these selves can be looked at as hats. Which hat are you wearing? The liable party in a prosecution will be the prosecutor. And the initial investor will be the complainant, the one who put this information in. So they're the equitable owner. Or maybe I have that. No. You know what? The liable party would be the complainant. Or the complainant. Because they're the one that initially lodged the they lodged a complaint. And the equitable owner to put up the finances, if you will, who's putting their self on the line, that's your prosecutor. So there's two cells over here. And both of these cells are neither the bond servant. These two are in partnership. This is left all alone. To the Moorish Americans, Jesus means justice. This is justice. This is justice. This is the plain truth. This is you. Okay? This is Jesus. Now, Jesus on the cross. We have assets. This is the debit account. This is the sinner. This is the creditor account. This is the redeemed. Okay, yeah. Assets. Expenses. Right, liability. Plus equity. And the bottom line. Okay. So this would be the soul. This would be the heart. Okay. So if we're looking at this as Jesus, because these are stories about Jesus, right? If we look at the cross as Jesus, and we remember the story is that he was pierced in the heart. Okay? So he was pierced in the heart, and the life force dripped in order for one to be saved. Jesus' last expression in Aramaic is Ma Shalem. In English, it is done, complete, perfected. It has come full term. So Jesus expressed that he was the creditor. Mashalem is referencing the creditor, the one who's owed something. He did not give up the body. Remember, he did not give up the debtor. They wanted the debtor. They accused Jesus of owing them an explanation. And he's saying, I owe you no explanation. But now you owe me an explanation. Jesus didn't argue with the facts. Hey, I'm the creditor. I am the one who is lawful, who is in law, like God, son of the Father, right? He made the claim that he was a creditor, Muslim. He said that he's the equitable owner. That was his last expression. It is finished. And he gave up the ghost. What is the ghost? The ghost is the spirit. It's the word. So he made his claim. He claimed to be here. And then said nothing else. Okay? And then what happens after this, right? So then Jesus is tried according to Roman law in the public. Right? And they say that he sat in hell 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. By the next business day, he was set free because it had been determined in the private that he was indeed who he says he was, which is the creditor or the equitable owner. He's owed. And sure enough, the Roman soldier, he definitely declared, oh, he surely was the Son of God. Oh, he surely. So the bailiff, this is the bailiff saying, yeah, he was definitely the creditor. And he was like, where is hell? Where is hell? Does anybody know where hell is pertaining to the law definition? Did you know that hell has a law definition? So it should be after these. Okay. Let's see. What does this say here? Huh? Excuse me. All right. Pardon. Hell. I'm going to write the definition of hell down for you. Jesus sat 3 days in hell. Where is hell? Remember, we're dealing with law, right? The law definition of hell. Hell is the name given to a place under the exchequer king chamber where the king's debtors were confined. So Jesus sat in hell for 3 days. Friday. Well, he's going to have to sit Saturday and Sunday. And then the next official business day, he was set loose because he was redeemed. He did not belong to Rome. So under the Muslim interpretation of Jesus, Jesus did not die on the cross. He was risen to the higher status, right? And was redeemed. He was saved. He was redeemed. Absolutely. So he received salvation. He was recognized as the creditor. So the person of Jesus was on the cross, the debtor person, but the creditor person was redeemed in the private. If you want to learn the basics of accounting in a playful manner, in order to retain the information much better, look for this book. This book teaches you the basics of accounting from the position of a lemonade stand. Okay? You get basically this book, and this is what I'm going to use to teach my. This book teaches accounting to children. If you can fundamentally get this information, the concept clear, you will then be able to look at other inquiries in life. So if we're looking at it from the point of a lemonade stand, then we can expand that and look at that as a corporation, as an organization, etc. Right? This book, and I'm not even finished with it myself, but this book right here has assisted me so much in being able to interpret certain information. So again, I say before I get off, get you a basic accounting, business management, trust and estate, will and testament foundation. Get the basic 101s of each of those, right? And then you'll be able to understand the unity, the relationship between these two personalities, these two persons, these two citizens. And you will learn to be the justice, the judge, the authorized rep, etc. Thank you all for stepping by. I am your brother, man. Just come to show you your way to perfectedness. Islam.